According to an article published by the New York Post, the United States is prepared to strike Venezuelan military bases. At the same time, the U.S. Navy has sent the guided missile cruiser Gettysburg into the southern Caribbean, near Venezuela's maritime approaches. What does this signal? What if the readiness goes beyond routine operations? Today, we must ask these questions. What's really happening? And why now? The Gettysburg quietly slipped into the southern Caribbean in late October. Its presence wasn't part of any planned rotation or exercise. It was a reinforcement, ordered there as reports of possible U.S. strikes against Venezuela began circulating. This isn't an ordinary ship. The Gettysburg is a Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser, a floating arsenal designed to control the seas and dominate the skies. It carries 122 vertical launch cells, each one capable of holding a missile. Some are for air defense, SM-2 and SM-6 interceptors that can shoot down enemy aircraft or incoming missiles. Others can hold Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles, the kind of weapon used in precision strikes against ground targets. If Washington really were considering hitting Venezuelan military facilities, this is one of the ships that could do it, and do it without warning. On board, around 350 sailors man its systems, radar operators, missile technicians, deck crews, engineers, all trained to keep the ship combat ready at a moment's notice. And just above the flight deck, 2 MH-60R helicopters can launch for anti-submarine patrols or surveillance missions over the Venezuelan coast. So when the Gettysburg appeared near those waters, the message was clear. The United States wanted the region, and Caracas, to know it could reach out and strike if it chose to. But the Gettysburg isn't alone. Far from it. As the Gettysburg took up position in the southern Caribbean, the most powerful ship in the American fleet was already on its way. The Gerald R. Ford, the Navy's newest and largest aircraft carrier, left the Atlantic coast with its full carrier strike group and set course toward the Caribbean Sea. Officially, U.S. officials called it a routine deployment, but timing is everything, and this timing raised eyebrows. The Ford doesn't travel alone. It sails with a powerful escort, destroyers like the Bainbridge, Mahan, Winston Churchill, Michair. Together, they form a floating fortress, a moving city of steel with more than 6,000 sailors and an air wing of around 70 aircraft. F-18 Super Hornets, EA-18G electronic warfare jets, E-2D early warning planes, and even F-35 stealth fighters form the sharp edge of this deployment. And again, the location matters. The Ford strike group wasn't heading to the Mediterranean or the Pacific. It was moving south, toward the Caribbean basin, within range of Venezuela. The last time a U.S. carrier operated that close to Venezuela was many years ago. So the question now is, why? Some analysts believe it's a message, a show of readiness to counter any threat to U.S. interests or allies in the region. Others see it as a clear sign that Washington wants leverage over Caracas if diplomatic options fail. Either way, the arrival of a nuclear-powered supercarrier in the Caribbean changes the equation completely. With hundreds of aircraft sorties possible each day, the U.S. now has the capability to monitor every inch of airspace around Venezuela, and if ordered, to carry out precision strikes deep inside the country. While the big ships draw attention, something equally important is happening on their decks. Marines from the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, about 2,200 men and women, have been conducting live fire exercises aboard the amphibious assault ship Iwo Jima in the Caribbean Sea. Videos released by the U.S. Navy show them firing from helicopters, practicing amphibious landings, and coordinating with naval gunfire, the kind of training designed for rapid coastal operations. What are they preparing for? Officially, it's part of the Southcom mission, strengthening security and cooperation across the Caribbean. But the nature of these drills suggests more than routine. If the United States ever needed to secure coastal areas near Venezuela, rescue citizens, or seize strategic points, this is the unit that would do it. Their combination of air mobility and sea power makes them the first responders for almost any crisis in the region. And that's why their presence, right now, raises so many questions. Why move an entire amphibious task force into the Caribbean? Why train for beach landings and helicopter assaults at this exact moment, right as reports emerge of potential strikes on Venezuelan targets? Coincidence or coordination? As all this unfolds at sea, the skies above the region are becoming crowded. Satellite trackers and military observers have reported increased flights of F-35 stealth fighters, relocated from U.S. bases to the Caribbean. Alongside them, B-52 Stratofortress bombers, and even B-1 Lancers have been spotted flying long-range missions near the Venezuelan coast. These aircraft don't need to cross the border to make an impression. Their flight paths are visible on open radar, and every time one flies near Venezuelan airspace, it sends a message. The U.S. can strike from anywhere, at any time. So far, there are no confirmed reports of F-15 squadrons being deployed to the area, but that could change at any moment. The U.S. Air Force has the capability to move those jets south in a matter of hours. What makes this air presence so important is coordination. From the forward's flight deck, carrier-based fighters can patrol over the sea. From regional airfields, stealth jets and bombers can approach from multiple directions. Together, they form a multi-domain strike network, fast, flexible, and hard to detect. For Venezuela, that creates a new kind of pressure. Not an invasion, not yet, but a constant reminder that American eyes, ships, and aircraft are now hovering just off its coast. Let's recap. The New York Post reports that the United States is prepared to strike Venezuelan military bases. A cruiser, the Gettysburg, has been sent into place. A carrier strike group led by Gerald R. Ford is on its way. Marines are training for amphibious operations. Stealth fighters and bombers are positioned. We are in a moment of decision. Will this buildup remain in the deterrence realm only? Or will it cross the threshold into land-based operations? The region is watching. The world is watching. Stay alert, because what happens here could echo far beyond the Caribbean. Thank you for listening. Please drop your thoughts below. What do you think the U.S. is truly prepared to do? And what will Venezuela do in response? Keep following this story. It's far from over.